And now there are about 7,000 of us in the world. It's an exciting time to be part of this field. This field is growing, and I am very serious about the continuing education and making sure that health coaches stay within their scope of practice. It's very important that we continue to build this field in a very reputable way by staying within our scope of practice and doing the great coaching work that we're doing. Way back in the day when I started, my nutrition journey started, I don't know, I don't even know, because I've always been interested in it. And I started teaching cooking classes to kids and adults, and spring camps and summer camps and after school classes. And I got some pre-professional culinary training in Cambridge, at the Cambridge School of Culinary Arts in outside of Boston. And then I came back and started really teaching families and kids and men and women to cook and feed themselves well. My cooking classes and the focus behind those was not about teaching children to make smiley face English muffin pizzas. It was really about teaching them to like vegetables and enjoy vegetables and try new foods, and the parents too, because oftentimes they would say, "My kids don't eat vegetables," and I'd say, "Well, do you eat vegetables?" And they said, "Well, no, but I want my kids to eat vegetables." And so I got the whole family really looking at things differently. And then health coaching, as it wasn't a thing when I started teaching, was really what I wanted to do. This is really the job I wanted to have. And the reason that I started pursuing this is because my culinary clients were asking me all these questions. Should I eat meat? Should I eat gluten? What's a detox? Should I do a juice cleanse? What about pressed juicery? What about sugar? What are they talking about trans fats? And people were asking me all these questions. And what health coaching did for me is give me broad and deep knowledge across all of these subjects, because we are inundated with the information, and put the structure around programs that I have built for my clients to reach their success. Over the years, I've been practicing since 2017. I was board certified in 2020. I have an 80% client success rate. That means that 80% of my clients are meeting or exceeding their own health goals. There are lots of reasons for that. I am a good coach. I work really well with clients, and they set their goals. We work on a path that is step by step gets them there. Continuing education is very important for me, and I have most recently spent a year getting a hormone health certification, which I loved both for myself and my clients. And then I also have deep and broad knowledge around dietary supplementation. That's not because I want to sell you a bunch of supplements, and that's not because I go there first. I 100% think it's food first, and before we add dietary supplements in. But so many of my clients and my culinary clients were asking about supplements. And I wanted to make sure that I was armed with the knowledge to be able to share with my clients and know what to answer their questions. And when there is a documented deficiency, supplementation is a great thing. We are lucky to have it. We need to make sure it's quality, that there's a documented deficiency, that you're working with your doctor and you're looking at your blood work. And then anecdotally, if there's symptoms that you are working on, supplementation can make sense. So that's why I did that. So that's a little bit about me and my work. Quick little disclaimer: I am not a doctor. I am a coach. This is meant for informational purposes. Always, always, always seek the advice of your physician. It's incredibly important to me to stay within my scope of practice. So if you have questions regarding a medical condition, or before undertaking any dietary changes or exercise programs of any kind, I suggest you check in with your physician and make sure that any supplements or things that you're doing are not counterindicated for yourself. So, detox. Let's talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of different things today. And I put detox up there because I want you to think to yourself, what do I think when I think detox? And then I'm going to tell you what I think when I think detox. We're going to talk about signs of a sluggish system. We're going to talk about our own body's natural ability to detox our own system, and then actions that we can take. And what I ask for you today, and I keep looking down at my notes because I want to make sure I don't forget anything, but what I ask for you today is to really listen and take note along the way of the things that really light up for you. I'm going to give you a lot of ideas, and I'm going to give you a lot of action items that you could take. This is not to say that you should take all of these actions. This is to say that these are options, and there's going to be some where you think, I'm not going to do that anytime soon. There's going to be others that you think, that's the one I need to be doing that I'm not already doing. I also ask that you listen with a beginner's mindset, because as no woman or man crosses the same river twice, you're a different person today than you were a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago. And there may be things here that you think you know and that you've heard before, but you're going to come at it from a very different perspective. I'm going to give you everything that I can, as much as I can. And there's a bonus for all of you that showed up today in the middle that I'm super excited about. And then I'm going to introduce you to some programs that I provide. It's one of the reasons I do this. So you can learn my thoughts, learn about this, and then learn about programs that I provide if those make sense for you. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a challenge that we'll talk about. I don't want to give away too much just yet. All right. So there are many ways to get focused on detoxing, and some are better than others. Some require medical supervision, like chelation. There are cellular detox programs that can be structured and holistic, and there are lots of ways to look at it. There are juice cleanses, grapefruit diets, lemon cayenne, pepper cleanses, you name it, and there are books written about it. But there are also food cleanses, and then supplements that can support detoxification for specific organs. And that is what we are going to talk about today. Supplements are always optional, as I say, but that's what we're going to talk about today. Why would you want to do a detox? Do you need one? How is it done? Where do you do it? What do you do? We are certainly surrounded in our environment by chemicals and toxins all of the time. The foods that we eat, the environment that we're in, the air that we breathe, the toxins from our products in the house and all sorts of things, we are surrounded for sure. And then the stress that we have in our bodies is also slows our system down, is the way that I look at it. So stress doesn't do us any favors, and it just slows our system down and our system's ability to detox on its own. In my mind, why we might want to do this is if we intentionally are taking the time to fuel our body in a way that simplifies things, to make it easy on our body's systems to do the work of detoxing that it's already doing day in and day out. It's about putting intention on it and getting out of our own way. When we focus on whole, real foods and supplements, if they make sense or are needed, we can really amplify what's possible for our body to already do the best work that it's doing, to really kind of assist our body. And the work that I do around whole, real foods is to prevent the preventable. So I've heard numbers, when you look at this list of preventable diseases, I've heard anywhere from 40 to 90% can be within each, right? So 40% of cancers might be preventable. 90% of heart disease might be preventable. But any way you slice those percentages, those are really big numbers. So you have a lot more control than you think. And I hope that that is motivation to encourage you to think about healthy ways to eliminate toxins from our body, which is one of the ways that we prevent disease. There are 6 ways that our body eliminates toxins and waste of any kind. We don't have to think of it as such negative things, but it eliminates waste, right? The digestive system ending in the colon, the lymphatic system, the lungs, the kidneys, the liver, and the skin. So we're going to talk about those things one at a time, a little bit, and get to look at some steps that you might want to take to reduce the toxic load that you might come across. Because detoxing is a lifestyle, it's not a program. All right. The digestive system is where we're going to start in the microbiome. So the microbiome is beneficial and potentially harmful microbes that are found largely in your intestines. It's a huge area of new study. There are 40 trillion cells in your makeup part of your microbiome that can weigh up to 6 pounds, which is as much as a brain. So then my question when you look into that and the research that's being done is, what are they all doing in there? Our body has about 30 trillion cells. So you have more cells within your microbiome than you do that make up your body. That's incredible to me. And what's more, as the research has continued, they have found that they don't know the exact number, right? But they have found 1,000 species of bacteria in the human gut microbiome. And each one of those, they think, plays a very different role in your body. And most of these, they're finding as they research them, are extremely important for your health, and others can cause disease. So the balance of your microbiome and what's going on in your gut is wildly important. But remember, they have just scratched the surface in this area of study. But a healthy microbiome lends to better nutrient absorption, a robust immune system, and a healthy gut lining, which helps with absorption as well. So what can you do about that? We want to give our body an assist. And the number one thing I want you to think about today, this is one of your potential action items that you might note, is only 5% of US citizens are getting enough fiber in their diet. And I want you, and it comes from whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. I want you to think about how much fiber you might or might not be getting and consider upping that. Think of fiber as your body's scrubbers. So fiber goes in and they scrub everything out. They grab all these waste products and they help remove it through your digestive system and out through your colon. When we do not have enough fiber and we end up constipated, that allows toxins to sit in your body longer. We don't want them in there any to build up any longer than they have to. The current recommendation for the amount of fiber that you should be getting is 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. The average US citizen is getting somewhere in the neighborhood on a good day of about 10 grams of fiber. So that's what I want you to think about. And then I have a question in here. What does your nervous system have to do with it? Your nervous system is intimately involved with your digestive system. When we are stressed out, like we tend to get, we are tapped into our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight and flight system. When we are breathing deeply, we are calm, we have tapped into our parasympathetic nervous system. And that is the system that is also called your rest and digest. So think about that. Your body, when it's stressed out, is not busy trying to digest food. When you are calm, your body can't be feeling it's in danger. It will put a priority on digestion. It will reduce digestive distress, reduce your acid reflux. It will increase nutrient absorption and get the I am full signals to your brain faster. They have an intimate relationship. So we're going to talk about breathing and the importance of deep diaphragmatic breathing as well. But that is a really important part of your gut health as well. So note to self. And I want you to also think about food sources that can help build a healthy microbiome. So the prebiotics are plant fibers that feed the good guys there. And the probiotics are the bacteria that are the good guys. So when you look at this list of prebiotics, I want you to think to yourself, how many of these can I get into my diet? How often can I add these into my world? And see if you can add them all in throughout the week. right? This isn't a meal, obviously. And then your probiotics, I want to talk about those a little bit because I want to be clear. The yogurt, you can't just buy any old yogurt off the shelf. It has to be a yogurt that actually lists that it has live and active cultures, because the cooking and the commercialization of yogurt can kill your bacteria. So know that it has to have live and active cultures. And then kefir has even more live and active cultures than yogurt. And it is actually a fermented probiotic milk drink. And interestingly, I get this, it is often great for people who are lactose intolerant. I am sure, I don't know, but I am sure it's because of those live and active cultures. Sauerkraut is a great option and should be the kind that needs to be refrigerated. Tempeh is a fermented soy product. You should be organic. Kimchi, like sauerkraut, just made with different veggies. They spice it up, different spices, delicious. Miso is a fermented soybean paste. Kombucha has probiotics for sure, but I want to give a little caution label on kombucha. That can cause digestive distress in quite a few people. I've had clients who can't drink it because it gives them acid reflux, it gives them diarrhea, and causes some digestive distress. Other people, and I know my kids were drinking a ton of it many days, and it can cause digestive distress if you're drinking a little too much of it. So that's something I just want to plant a seed there for you to think about. And then pickles. When you're looking at pickles, these are not the pickles that you're getting at the ballpark. These are pickles that are fermented in salt and water. The pickles that you have in your fridge, which my kids buy as well, that's in vinegar, does not have those robust probiotics. And the pickles that are fermented in salt and water, they're a little more expensive, 9 times out of 10, but they're absolutely delicious and filled with probiotics. Traditional buttermilk, not cultured. Traditional buttermilk. You can't always find it. And natto is a fermented it's a fermented soy product that you can find in Japanese markets. So add these things in, and there's a lot that you can do for your gut and your microbiome that's very proactive. All right, the lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system is part of your circulatory system and intimately part of your immune system. It removes excess fluids from body tissues. It aids absorption of fatty acids to the circulatory system. And hear me when I say it produces immune cells, the lymphocytes, monocytes, and plasma cells. It is wildly important for us in detoxing. And interestingly, the lymphatic system does not have its own pump. So it can't pump those things out. It is a slow moving system. And the only way that it moves things out is through our own action and movements. All right. So while exercise for everyone is non-negotiable for good quality skeletal muscle health on your body, as the engine we need for quality of life and longevity, right? So we're all exercising because it's a non-negotiable. And exercise is also involved in body weight regulation, dealing with low-grade inflammation, insulin sensitivity, and improvement of cognitive function, which also the muscles are intimately involved in helping your lymphatic system move things out. So we have to move our bodies, and we need to sweat on a regular basis. We'll talk about it again when we get to our skin, but we need to sweat every day to continue to move those things out. And then the other thing that's fun to consider is a massage by a certified professional that does lymphatic massage. It's different than the one you get when you're on vacation, and it still feels good, but it is a different modality, and you'll want to look for somebody who is certified in that. And so here's one little bonus I have for you guys. So the rebounder, that little trampoline, the rebounder is a great way to move things through your lymphatic system. When we jump up and down, when we skip rope, when we're running, when we're, anything that we're doing when we're moving up and down, we are helping move our lymphatic system. The rebounder, that little trampoline, is a fantastic way to do that. And there is a class that's just recently been introduced at SBM Group Fit here in Menlo Park. by my friend Alyssa, who is on the left there having a ball. And then her partner in training that they both are certified to teach these rebounder classes, Angela, is on the right. When you go to sbmgroupfit.com and you use the code Alyssa, ILISSA, you can take a free class. So I haven't even been to the class yet. It's fairly new. It's super exciting. They are absolutely having a ball. It's easy on your joints. It is great for everybody. Alyssa is a really, really caring and thoughtful teacher and will make you feel like $1,000,000 if you go and you don't know anything and you try it out. I will be there in November to be sure, but I'll go with anybody that wants to go. So this is a special bonus that she allowed me to offer to participants today. So I hope you will take me up on it and let me know. All right, because we can detox and have a good time. All right, we are going to talk about the lungs. So the lungs to me are a gateway to calm us down, to tap into our parasympathetic nervous system and to reconnect to ourselves. That to me is a really important job. But at its basic, of course, it's exchanging oxygen and carbon dioxide, as we all know. But it also keeps us, the lungs help keep us energized and deliver oxygen to the brain. It balances the body's pH and it maintains the correct pressure within our body. And here's the thing, the lungs exert waste through the breath 850 times per hour. That is a powerful detox engine. And if you don't think about it that way, we've got to really think about what we can do to help make the job of our lungs a little bit easier. So breathing practice. You would think we all know how to breathe, right? It's an involuntary thing. But 9 times out of 10, when I'm working with clients, I find that they take a deep breath and they go, and their shoulders come up and their breathing, their deep breath feels like it's here in their chest. I would challenge you to put your hands on your belly button and breathe into your belly and then out like you're breathing through a straw, because that exercises your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is the thing that physically touches and works with your vagus nerve to tap into your parasympathetic nervous system. You can't be running from that lion that's shooting out of the bushes to kill you, breathing that calmly, right? So it tells your body that you are okay. And we take it for granted that we know how to breathe, but really intentional belly breathing makes all the difference in the world to our detoxing, to our sleep, to our parasympathetic nervous system and our nervous system, right? And so I want you to think about that. There is some talk about these negative ions. You may have read it out in the world, out within fresh air that bind to our electron, molecules, missing electrons and things like that. And that all might very well be true as far as detoxing goes. However, when we are out in the wilderness and we are out taking a hike and we are taking big breaths, we are 9 times out of 10 calm, relaxed, and getting some beautiful fresh air. And that is going to release those happy serotonin hormones, regardless of whether there's negative ions bonding with your sad little electrons that need them. So know that that is a form of detox as well. And then I want you to think, it's another challenge, to pay attention to what toxins you may be breathing at home and at work. So I used to work for a commercial printing company and went into the office every day. And it never occurred to me back in the day that I was breathing all of that air all day long and filled with toxins, I'm sure. When we buy a new sofa, when we buy a new mattress, when we're buying a new pillow, consider looking at healthier, low toxic options as you replace these things, because they off-gas toxins into our lives. No pressure, no stress. It's just something you can kind of check the box and think about in your environment. And then the kidneys. So the kidneys rid the body of waste and toxins. They're working really hard, 200 quarts of blood every day they filter through. They remove acid produced by the cells and they maintain healthy balance of water, salt, and minerals. So they are working really hard and we want to make it easier on those guys. You want to drink a lot of water. If anybody knows anything about me, I'm telling you to drink water all the time. Filtered water is a bonus. If you get the report from your water company that talks about what's in your water, that might give you the information you need to decide on buying a whole house water filter or having a water filter put on your tap. But it's not, don't feel pressured about it. Not all water is terrible, but I want you to drink a lot of water. And then there are a lot of meta studies about the antioxidant in fruits like cranberries, black cherries, and blueberries. Beets are incredible for your blood. Seaweed and sea vegetables, lemon juice, and spinach. So those are things that you can add in pretty easily to assist the kidneys. And then herbs like stinging nettle or burdock root have quite a bit of research behind them too. Stinging nettle, I've had fresh and chopped up in salads. You can have them in teas as well. So those are a couple of tips for your kidneys. And then your skin. So skin, this is a lot of real estate. And the skin also acts as a filter, removing wastes from the blood. The toxins are pushed out through the skin, and your skin health and the appearance of your skin is a good way to measure the general health of your body. If you have lots of eczema or allergies or rashes and things like that, that's often a sign that something is out of balance. It's not the end of the world. It just means that something might be out of balance, because your skin is one of those first points that will tell you when something is going on. So what can you do about it? Remember, everything you put on your skin is absorbed into your body. So think about it this way. If you wouldn't eat it, don't put it on your skin. Kind of gross, right? Because would you eat your deodorant? Probably not. But when you read the ingredients list of food, you might be picky about that. But have you read the ingredients list of the things you're putting on your skin? There is a great database, Environmental Working Group, or EWG, that you can download the app on your phone, and you can scan the barcodes and find out more about the products that you are buying and find out if they're lower in toxicity. And they might be low in toxicity and you still don't want to eat it, but I want you to be armed with the information. And there's also EcoCert that we're going to talk about in a minute that helps you find organic and non-toxic personal products. And then really, really important for detoxification of your skin and your body, to sweat on the daily. So really get some sweaty exercise in is key. And the liver. So if I had a favorite organ, it would be the liver. If I could take it out and cradle it and take care of it and clean it and put it back in, I would. It is really, truly the filter in your body. And that buddy is working really hard for us, right along with the kidneys. It recovers and eliminates toxins. It assures the metabolism of your macronutrients while producing the bile needed for digestion. It's a great storage device for fat soluble vitamins and glycogens to give you energy, and makes that available when we need it. So we need our liver to be working in top order. So here's what we do about it. Avoiding heavy drinking. So I'm talking heavy drinking, right? And a glass of wine is not a big deal. 2 glasses, not a big deal. Having a night out where you drink way too much once in a while, also not a big deal, but then you want to make sure to take care of your liver and kidneys the next few days. And then drug use, not just recreational drugs, but prescription drugs as well, because all of that has to be processed through our liver. So it's working hard to take care of that. The toxins enter our liver and go through a phase 1 detoxification, and they get partially, what's the word I'm looking for? They get partially processed. And then if there's too much congestion in your liver before stage 2, it will dump natural substances like hormones or cholesterol back out into the system to recirculate or be stored for later. And we don't want those toxins to be partially changed and then dumped out the side door, because they are not they're not as safe as we'd like them to be. When they go through the stage 2, they become very safe and protected so that we can get them out of our system without hurting our bodies. So we don't want that kind of congestion, and that's what the heavy drinking and drug use can help with? What's the word I'm looking for? Can work towards having you be more congested, which you don't want to have a congested liver. And then eating an anti-inflammatory diet. So I put that in there because people are talking a lot about anti-inflammatory diets and choosing organic. An anti-inflammatory diet, in my mind, and what I see with my clients every day in reducing inflammation and improving blood work, is you're going to eat whole, real foods as close to their natural source as possible. That allows you to not create inflammation. So if that's, and there are specific foods that can be better than others or can amplify the anti-inflammatory response. But if we're eating whole, real foods as close to their natural source as possible, that is an anti-inflammatory diet in my mind, that we can keep it simple. And then choosing organic. Having your blood work done so that you know what your A1C number is, your fasting glucose, and your triglyceride levels is important to keep your liver strong, or at least give it the assist, right? Because think about those numbers. The higher they are, the harder your liver is working. And then liver boosting supplements, if needed, can amplify what's possible. And so now that you see the systems and organs your body already has set up to detox effectively and efficiently, it's not that we add in some juice cleanse to do that to our body. Our body is doing that every day. I want you to think about how you can reduce the toxins that we're handing to our body daily. Because if you don't put it in your body, it doesn't have to work to get it out. And we talked about that motivation earlier. So what is your toxic load? It's hard to know, right? It's not a number. It's not you take a test and it tells you what it is. And we're all unique. Our toxic load depends on many things: where we grew up, what we eat, our work environment, our stress levels, mold toxicity, exercise, and it shows up in a lot of different ways. We are all surrounded by environmental toxins all the time. And this isn't the sky is falling, it's a terrible thing, but we're all surrounded by these things. And it's part of our lives. And so getting out of our own way and letting our body do its best work is easier than you might think. These are some symptoms you might see if you have a sluggish system and if your body is not working at its optimal. These are also symptoms that you might see for a lot of different things. So this is not, again, there's no test that you can take that says one thing. There are tests that you can take through your doctor to test for heavy metals and toxicity and things like that. But in general, these symptoms can tell you that your system is on overload, and making a choice to move your nutrition to whole and real foods can help reduce inflammation and reduce those toxins. Toxins and stress and this unbalanced digestive system can create that cellular inflammation. And that's why I really like the whole real food detoxes. Detoxing, it's more of a lifestyle, right? Not just a program. When you have some cellular inflammation, it is in general, this is when I talked about it slows the body down. It is harder for nutrients and hormones to get in and do their work, and harder for the toxins to get out and eliminated from their body. It really does slow us down. There are two kinds of inflammation. There's acute, like allergic reactions, or if you've fallen or cut yourself, and then there is chronic, cardiovascular disease, autoimmune diseases, fibromyalgia, and things like that, that are a persistent state of inflammation. And our goal is to, for our purposes today and anytime, is to reduce our toxic load as best we can. This is when I talk about getting out of our own way and making it as simple as possible. Your job is to make it easier on your body at that cellular level to do the job it's already doing day in and day out. It's about the foods we put in our body. It's about the things we surround outside of our body. And it's about the things we put on our body and then doing those things consistently. There is a little story I sometimes tell my clients. I don't know if any of you remember the book, Horton Hears a Who. There is Horton of the elephant. He finds this little speck of dust, and there's this whole world inside this speck of dust, and it's Whoville. And I think of the cells, the 30 plus trillion cells in our body, and the microbiome as well, as our own little Whoville. because those little residents can't get out and wander around and get what they need. So it's our job to eat the rainbow, to work really hard to get all of those things in and reduce the toxic load so that we at a cellular level get everything that they get everything that they need, right? Our little Whoville in our bodies. And so one way you want to look at this is by going organic. I mean, you've heard it a million times, and while it is important and worth it, I know that it can be expensive. So one strategy I have is to use the environmental working group. I talked about this earlier, the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. This is a list that they make every year. This is 2020, but I checked in 2022. And the Dirty Dozen are the same. The Clean 15 have changed a little bit. But this is a yearly list that they put out, and it is best to always buy the Dirty Dozen as organic. Dirty means that they are of the fruits and vegetables they tested, and they do a deep and broad testing. They have the highest amount of toxic substances, fungicides, pesticides, things like that on them. So buying those as organic can make a difference. With that said, I know that it's expensive. And if what I ask of people is to take like the top 5 or 10 things that you eat. It can be the top 5 pieces, produce that you buy, or 10 things of whatever it is, the top 5 or 10 food things that you eat, and make those the best quality that you can. And the same goes for skin products. The things like the sunscreen that you're using every day, because you're all wearing sunscreen every day, that maybe needs to be a really top quality. And you can check an environmental working group to see what is the lowest in toxicity. So that's one action item that I think is important and easy to work on. And then a little side note, I wanted to tell you guys that non-GMO seems to have this healthy halo, and that we think to ourselves, oh, it's non-GMO, so I can buy that one. It's less expensive than this organic option. But non-GMO is only non-genetically modified. When you buy organic, it is already not allowed to be genetically modified, and it doesn't have any of these other things. If it's only non-GMO, they are still allowed to do all of these other things and use synthetic pesticides and herbicides, including Roundup, which is heinous, sewage, sludge, synthetic fertilizers. They can detect growth promoting hormones and antibiotics, and it's still fine. So non-GMO on its own is not going to do it for you. Organic is the way to go. And here is a slew of tips I want you to consider as far as your food goes. So in our bodies, as well as the animals that we might eat, the pesticides and toxins are often stored in our fat. And so the leaner the meat, the lower the concentration of pesticides, because there is less fat. So my point is that happy animals have a very different nutritional profile when we eat them than the sad feedlot, conventionally farmed animals and fish and that kind of thing. Same goes for plants. So plants that are genetically modified and sprayed with pesticides and fungicides, they don't have to work as hard to protect themselves. So they're not quite as filled with the antioxidants, the robust antioxidants that organic foods are. So the happier the animal, the happier the plant, the better it is for you. Peeling the skin off, washing your produce, cutting away damaged areas when you get it so that bacteria hasn't gotten in there, avoiding foods with these additives, limited exposure to canned products. I would caveat that with make sure that anything you buy in the can is BPA free. It's easy to do these days. Many producers are making them BPA free. And then cooking with non-toxic pans. There is a great article by Food and Wine that if you just put in food and wine, cooking with non-toxic pans or best non-toxic pans, it has a whole list. I loved it. It included cast iron, enameled cast iron like Le Creuset and things like that. And that everyday pan, remember the one that was all the rage during the pandemic, and it does all those things and comes in those really pretty colors. That one is actually a great pan as well. And then ensure that you're drinking and cooking in water that is possibly filtered based on where you live. I want you to kind of consider which one of these might highlight for you. You can't do these all the time, but you can pick the ones that make sense for you. And then this is the other company, EcoCert, that will help you find good organic cosmetics, as well as the Environmental Working Group, EWG. They have that app I want you all to download. And then the other one I want you to consider is a company called, it's an organization called Center for Science in the Public Interest. Center for Science in the Public Interest, or CSPI. And they put out a newsletter called Nutrition Action Newsletter that I've been getting for years. You can find it all online. They are self-funded, funded by their subscribers, and they are the people that got our nutrition label changed. They are the people that are working in Washington, D.C. on our behalf to make our food system work for us, rather than it being a system that is setting us up for failure. So I really believe in the work they're doing. They have fantastic research behind them. It's a great group of people, and I would highly recommend you getting involved and reading what they are up to. And then here's another one. So I can feel people eye rolling when I talk about this, but the idea of, okay, don't laugh, but making your own cleaning products. So it's that same thing when I was a new mom and people were like, oh, you should make your own baby food. I was like, you're crazy. Anyway, the baby food thing was super easy. This is the same thing. It is way easier than you could possibly imagine. It's things like salt and lemon and essential oils and vinegar and water. It is so simple. And what I would suggest you do is pick one that interests you, Google it up, find a recipe, buy a spray bottle, and try it. You can reuse the spray bottles. They're recyclable. There's no toxins in them. And they're amazing at how well they clean. So I clean a lot of my pans, my non-toxic pans, my cast iron, with salt, and that's it. I use salt and lemon, and it works incredibly well. So I want you to consider, with less eye rolling, I want you to consider possibly, if it's interesting to you, making some of your own cleaning products. Maybe if you're just about at the end of your Clorox bleach spray, maybe it's something you want to give a try to and see what is out there. I mean, who would I be if I didn't suggest it? The other one I love is, instead of dryer sheets, I got the wool dryer balls. They work amazingly. And they also, when I wash my pillows and my comforters, they fluff everything up really well too. So that is one that I really like. And then we've talked about the foods to detox. It's not that I'm going to give you a list of these. What I want you to remember is the eating whole, real foods as close to their natural source as possible. And the features that you would want to look for, which this leads right into the program that I offer, because I've been doing this for years, and I wanted to offer a program with whole, real foods to amplify what's possible, rather than people who said, can I just do a quick cleanse with you? Can I just do a quick juice cleanse? That's not how I roll. So a good plan is going to reduce food triggers, because you're going to remove the things that cause them in the first place. A lot of common triggers that cause heartburn and gas and bloating, diarrhea and constipation are things like gluten, which I'm going to talk about in a second, soy products because of the commodity crop that it is, gluten as well because of wheat being a commodity crop, dairy, caffeine, alcohol, and excess sugar. And then corn is another one. Corn, soy, and wheat are big commodity crops in this country. They are genetically modified. They're sprayed with pesticides and fungicides that get into our bodies. That is one of the reasons why it causes that digestive distress. I have a friend who is celiac and has a separated kitchen in her home here in the US. When she traveled to France and to Italy, she was able to eat baguettes and eat croissants, not with wild abandon, but she was able to eat them and had no problem. The wheat and the products they often grow in other countries is an actual different variety and a different hybrid of the plant than what we have here. And so when you eliminate these things, then it eliminates many of those symptoms. And that's why we focus on certain whole, real foods. It supports liver function, as we talked about, and promotes a good detox program is going to promote clean and organic whole foods that are high in phytonutrients. So we are animals, right? And we need different things at different times of the year. That's why we want to eat the rainbow of foods that are available for us all year long. And that's going to give, remember the Whoville story? That's going to give all your little pieces and parts everything that they need to do their best job for you. Variety in your diet is the only way that you can provide all of those nutrients at a cellular level. And the antioxidants, which are the substances that protect our cells from damage during our natural oxidation process, are vitally important as well. So this is targeting that using whole real foods that you see here. And a good program is not going to be calorie specific because it is not necessarily about weight loss. The goal is to eat clean, create healthy new habits. That's the goal in detoxing, so that we have given an assist to our body's own processes, and we've learned the habits that work for us and our family so that we can continue in that way forever. Some of my clients lose weight while they're doing this work, and it doesn't have to be calorie focused. And then encouraging healthy, I hope this encourages the natural elimination of toxins, because remember we talked about the liver dumping natural products out the side door. When we are eating in a way that feeds us and reduces that congestion, it balances our hormone metabolism as well. The liver regulates our sex, thyroid, and adrenal hormones in addition. And we talked about it dumping those things out the side door. So this helps with hormone metabolism too. So I'm going to tell you about my program, and that it lives on my website. It's a 14-day, I call it a reset, because it's not about cleansing and detoxing and things like that. It is a comprehensive program that has an app attached to it where you'd be able to contact me. It provides that accountability, and you do have the ability to order some supplements, which I'll talk about in a second, or not. I give you options if you don't want supplements for how to manage that. And you download, I'm trying to think which parts I'd like to tell you about. It includes all of your meals, all of your recipes, an eating guideline, a shopping list, everything you need to stay on track, whole food based. It syncs up with your Fitbit. There's educational content, and I'm adding more in every day because I just get so excited and I want to share all this stuff with you guys. And there's practitioner support from me because you can contact me right in the app. There are 7 days of workouts, body weight workouts, breath work, and a 30-page ebook on reducing your toxic load. This is how it looks on your first day and runs for 14 days. And you can track your weight. You can set your own goals. You can set your own start date. You can track your weight, meditation, waist. There's a whole host of your water intake, your movement, and you can track those things as you would like. And everything is provided in there for you. There are videos that I've been making for you to get started. And you can directly buy the supplements. And you've got your workouts, as I said, breathing exercises from a master. And I just want to say about the supplement program that I use the Veggie Cleanse Plus all the time. I have for about 2 years, off and on, as a replacement for my snacks sometimes. Because if I go into the kitchen and I want those chips and salsa, I can quickly blend this up. And it is a vitamin, mineral, antioxidant formula that includes extra greens, extra fiber, which we all need, specific amino acids that focus on your liver and kidneys and gallbladder support that we've talked about. There are capsules in this kit that has the full complement of antioxidants, and then a really robust probiotic, if that's something you would like to experiment with. And then my friend and client, Brooke, is here today because she has been working this program as a superstar, and I wanted her to say a couple things about it that doesn't come from me.
Hi, yeah, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, so Michelle and I, my husband and I actually joined Michelle back in July. So we've been working with her for 2 months now, and I'm already down 18 pounds in just 2 months. So, and like she said, we're not even counting calories. Like it hasn't been a diet for us. It's really been just reworking what we're eating, buying organic and healthy foods, whole foods, more cooking at home, and just learning how to eat and learning how to have this balance. And it's working for us. Like it really hasn't been hard. I don't feel like I'm on a diet or I'm, not eating or anything like that. So it's been a success. And then we've been using the app. I love the app because it just makes it so easy to track what I'm eating, tracking my movement. I have like a step goal on there that I hit every day. It logs my water intake, so I know if I'm drinking enough water or not, and has those little circles that you want to like close the circle every day to make sure you're hitting your goals. So it's been really helpful. And it has like a what not to eat, what not to eat document in her plan docs. That was just like the easiest thing for me because it was just so straightforward. Like eat this, don't eat that. And once it's like that clear for me, it's like, okay, well now I know, when I start looking at what I'm eating and what recipes I'm looking at, it's just so easy to reference that. And on top of that, just meeting with her every couple of weeks and having my little list of questions and having the accountability has just been huge. So far so good. So thank you, Michelle.
Oh, Brooke, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to see you both see such great success, because I know your husband is also seeing great success, and it is fun to work with a couple in the way that I am with you guys. So congratulations, and thank you for taking a moment to talk about it in real life. So the sign up is super easy. You just sign up at my website, michelledewolf.com. You get an invitation to download the app because you can't get it on your own. You have to get it through a practitioner. And I worked for a year to become a practitioner and learn everything I needed about the supplements and about everything around that. And again, I didn't do it for the supplements. I did it for the structure that I can put within this app to make it a whole food based program for you. And then if you don't want the supplements, what I would suggest you do is, if you have a good green smoothie, which I've included green smoothie recipes as part of your educational material. If you want to skip the supplements, just use green smoothies as long as they're green, not fruity, sugary yogurt, ice cream smoothies. I want them to be green smoothies that are 70 to 80% vegetables and the rest are fruits. And then you get to pick a start date after you have thought about when you want to start, when you have time to shop and cook and prep and plan, and then you get to pick that start date. I would suggest when you sign up, you pick a start date within 7 days. You don't want to let too much time go by. You want to stay on top of it and stay excited. The program is only $49 and you get so much. I've been waiting for this program and I'm so excited to have it on there. I do have other programs. I have one-to-one coaching. Under one-to-one coaching, you get to use the app. I've got other dietary plans that can address different chronic issues you might have. I've got one that's GERD specific. I've got one for heart health. I've got low sugar. I've got a variety of dietary plans that we can use the app for in 14-day plans or 28 days. And those are with the one-to-one coaching. There are lots of other options. This is just something I wanted to tell you about in this Detox Reset program. I really hope that you are going to take action. I am here anytime. And what I want you to do now is, now that we've talked about all of these things, it was a lot of information. I want you to think back. Where, when I was talking about different areas, where did you light up? Where did you say to yourself, yep, that's the area I need to think about. That's the area I really want to make all my own cleaning products. What was it that you thought, that is something I'm interested in doing? I want you to make a goal for yourself around that one, maybe two things that bubbled up for you, and make a goal of what you want to do. Where do you want to be this time next month? Where do you want to be this time next week? Whatever, and let it be a week or two. And then I want you to plan your next best step. So if it was, say, for example, I want to make all my own cleaning products, So that might be your next best step, is to find the recipes, do the research and find the recipes. And then your second step will be to get the ingredients, your third, and the bottles to put them in, right? So you've got to take those small steps and back it up. Because if you want to, in a month, be done with all your toxic cleaning products and making your own, then your goal is there, back it all the way up to today. What do I have to do? Because a goal without a plan is just a wish, right? And then this is how you contact me. I am available. You can do a free consultation with me anytime. There's a book now button on my website, and it's for 50 minutes, 50 minutes. And I am happy to talk about any of your issues and anything that's going on, or if there's somebody that you want to refer to me and you wanted to talk to me first, that is fine too. I get that a lot. So this is how you contact me, and get signed up. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming. I love doing this. I hope you will send your friends. I hope to do these at least once a month, and that you will show up. And I look forward to seeing you all soon.